I'm hungover, so I did what every good podcaster does, and I butt chugged a Pedialyte and came and recorded a podcast with you guys. So
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect you to start like that.
welcome to the Medium Rare Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Owens, and I'm here with Alex
D Toronto, hey, what's up?
Tucker.
Yes.
And Sahil.
That be me?
All right. So I want to start off the show. I want to remind everybody to comment, review, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Follow us on social media. Follow us on Instagram, The Medium Rare Podcast, Facebook, The Medium Rare Podcast. Like and comment, share, all that stuff. Blah, blah, blah.
TY.
Send us your socks.
I want to read a review from our... What did you say?
Send joke. We don't have a P.O. box.
Yeah, speaking of that, though, for Christmas, I'm really wanting that Cowboy Bebop manga, and, like, I'm not going to give y'all a P.O. box, but just, like, sit it outside, and I'll come find it.
Yeah.
Send us your
Come
address.
find it.
Yeah.
Got
See?
you.
Anyway, want to read a review from our biggest fan. I mentioned her in our previous episode, my mother. Because no one else wants to send us a review, so I got to leave it up to moms to always...
Step in.
Step in. Yeah,
She
yeah,
loves
yeah.
us so much that she wrote two.
Yeah, I think she wrote two separate reviews on two separate accounts. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Anyway, my beautiful mother, she said 5 stars. Never miss an episode. Some of my favorite people in the world. You guys are hilarious and fun to watch. Love you guys. So if anybody wants to be shouted out to on the show, be like my mother and watch every single episode, 5-star everything, like everything, and subscribe.
Only 5 stars, though. Please.
Yeah, we won't read it. We won't read anything that's not 5 stars.
I'll read it, guys. It's fine. I got you guys. All
he's
our
not-
haters,
he's not gonna.
we got you. No, but my mom, I was at a wedding last night, yesterday. That's why I'm very hungover. But one of the groomsmen, Dylan, in a drunken stupor, he's also a big fan. He comments on everything mostly.
Oh,
He'll
yeah.
subscribe and like and everything, all that stuff.
Appreciate
Anyway, I'm gonna stop saying that. But Dylan, Dylan, as I was leaving the wedding, he was a groomsman, and I was a groomsman at my buddy Robert's wedding. And in a drunken stupor over all the talking people and the loud music, he grabbed my hand and he pulled me in and he caressed his hand upon my neck. And he looked at me and he said, "Brett, fuck what everybody else is saying about what you do. You keep doing you. All right, you keep doing your thing, and I'm going to keep liking, and I'm going to keep commenting on everything. I'm proud of you, and I love you, and I just want you to say that I love all your stuff and your content." And I said, yes. I was drunk,
you
too.
equally drunk.
Yes. We were both loving on each other, and
It's like real close, just like, but you're like both going like this. You're like,
yeah.
swaying.
We're both like glassy-eyed and falling asleep.
That's so fucking wholesome.
So sweet, dude. Anyway, he loves all of you guys too. He watches every episode, so shout out Dylan Rogers.
We love
Thank
you
you,
too.
Dylan.
All right, so personal stories. Does anybody want to go? Because I was going to talk about some stuff that happened at the wedding last night.
You just go
Yeah,
right
just
ahead.
go
with
ahead.
that.
Okay.
We'll go after.
No, it was really so none of Robert's family likes any of the groomsmen anymore because we had been drinking from noon until, past the wedding, through the wedding. We drank a lot.
How was
Of
Robert?
alcohol. Robert was sober.
Oh, he was
Robert
sober the whole time.
Robert was so stressed out about everything else that didn't matter.
That's how it
His
goes.
wife was just like, cool. She was totally fine with everything. She did not care. Robert's like, the toilet broke. Oh my God, the toilet broke. We got to fix the toilet. And he's
Who
fixing
broke the toilet?
Yeah.
I don't know. It literally, you flushed it. You flushed it. One of them flushed it, one of the groomsmen, and the little thing that pulls the thing,
Oh,
whatever.
the hammer or
It-
the lever thing?
Yeah, from the
From the
flushing lever?
Yes, the stick broke off. And Thomas did it. Thomas was very drunk, and he's like, as we're all talking, he's just like, "Robert, I have a confession to make. I broke the toilet, and I don't know what to do about it."
How did he even break it though? Did he like just try and flush?
I
it,
don't
like,
know. He
were,
was
like really
He
hard?
probably
Yes.
just like almost fell and used it to catch
Rest on
himself. He broke it. Anyway, Robert freaked out about that for at least 2 or 3 hours. But
How are people
no,
gonna
there
use
was
the bathroom?
there was that, and Dylan, who I mentioned before, was very drunk before we even started. But he they he was the only friend that we had to pull aside, and they were like, listen, you guys just go into the groom's cottage and don't talk to anyone else. Dylan got right next to Robert's very conservative, very Southern Baptist grandmother. Like, she's just very judgmental, super sweet. But Dylan was just like, man, I don't want to fucking do this fucking shit. and Robert's mom was just like, Dylan, okay, Dylan, come with me. And she just put him inside, and she was like, none of you guys get near Robert's grandmother anymore, okay?
She's off limits.
My buddy Christian, who he's also watches the show, he's a really good friend of mine. He's in the Navy. He's the most vulgar human being on the planet. Very mean, and he's the reason that in the way we all show affection is that we just grab each other by the penis and balls.
Oh, so just
what I
sexual
do
harassment.
to all of you.
Oh, okay.
Well, mostly
I thought
you.
were just, yeah.
You don't do
Mostly
that to
just
me.
Alex.
I'll
It's
say, you don't
mostly
do that to
just
me, so
Alex.
I'm
It's a
glad.
sign of affection. But
Yeah.
anyway, for the first time, Christian did something nice and got Robert a present. And Robert started like he was all stressed out about it, and he was like, "Thank you, that was really sweet." Blah blah blah. And Christian, he was like, after that, he was just like, "Can we get this?" And Christian's like, "Give me a kiss." And Robert said, "Yeah, can we get? Yeah, okay." And they both just kiss each other on the mouth.
Nonchalant.
It was the gayest experience of my life, I think.
And they
But,
were both straight.
Well, Robert
And then-
was getting married
and
to
then
a
one
woman.
got married a couple hours later.
Yeah, yep. And that's what the last person Robert kissed before he married his wife was Christian.
Wholesome.
It's
Very
beautiful.
wholesome.
It was a beautiful story. Anyway,
I thought,
there's a lot of.
Doesn't that mean they're married though now?
Yep.
Technically, because
He said, "You may now kiss the bride," and Robert stepped away from Sarah, walked down to Christian, and kissed him in the mouth.
Thank you.
No, but my buddy Anthony, too, he came to the wedding, and he wasn't a groomsman, and he was really bitter about that, so we gave him a lot of crap for that. But he walked up, and we were all excited, and we grabbed him, and we were giving him a hug or whatever, and I grabbed him and hugged him. He's like, "Dude, I'll fucking suck your dolls." And we both started laughing. He was like, I tried to say dick and balls at the same time. He just said dolls.
That sounds like something that Jack Black would say, like from Tropic Thunder. I don't know why that reminded me.
said,
of
"Dude,
that.
I'll fucking suck your dolls."
Swallow the gravy.
And swallow the gravy. No, but then Christian came up and grabbed him, and a glob of drool just fell out of his mouth, and all of us are drunk, so we all fell off on the floor and laughed and stuff. Anyway, crazy night though. I was that's why I'm feeling horrible. But anyway, you guys got anything
Well,
to say?
congratulations.
Congratulations, Robert and Sarah. You guys are beautiful and perfect and precious in every way.
Bless you.
Bless you and your marriage.
I think that can segue pretty good into my story
Yeah.
because this was right after my wedding,
Yeah.
like the
Oh.
next day.
Yeah.
on our
We know what
honeymoon.
happens on the honeymoon, dog.
We do.
Arguing.
Yes.
Here, here.
Here.
So we went to New York into like this cabin that my family owns up in like Whitehall. So it's upstate New York and Adirondack Mountains. So we go up and they weren't using it for the winter. Bless you. And so we get inside and it's just this beautiful cabin where like we have this whole place to ourselves. It's huge. And we're thinking, okay, we're going to have a lot of fun. So we turn on the heat, make a fire, everything's fine. Wake up the next morning, everything's fine. But then we look at the windows, like there's this giant wall of windows in the cabin. And there's all these dead flies. I mean, like hundreds of dead flies lying on the ground.
In a line?
Yes. By
They-
the window.
Like-
Like a
Organized?
straight line.
Yeah, like a straight line.
This
Oh,
was at the
no.
cabin you guys were staying at?
Yes.
That's probably because of like insect repellent. Like that happens like when we line,
They line
insect
up?
repellent. Yeah.
Well,
Like we
Oh.
line our windows with it at
The-
home, and like there's a row of dead.
generally that is the case, but I think that the reason why is because it's a wall of windows and all the flies were trying to fly out
Oh,
and just went bink, bink, bink until they died.
jeez.
Okay. But then
It's metal.
as we were,
Here.
we vacuumed them all up, cleaned them all up. It was disgusting, but we got them all up. And then the next night, I kept feeling like bugs were on me when I was laying in bed trying to sleep, and I was freaking out, just slapping myself. And Liz was like, "What are you doing? Like, what's going on?" And I'm like, "I feel like I'm covered in bugs." And she's like, "You're just overreacting. You saw those
You're
flies
being
today."
so dramatic.
Turn on the light. There's bugs all over me and in the bed and all in the room.
Oh.
And I'm like, Okay, you guys don't know. I'm not afraid of a lot of stuff, but bugs are the only thing that will. I think about suicide
Oh.
when I'm in their presence.
Yeah.
And I walk downstairs.
Ugh.
And I just hear, and they're all up on the ceiling.
No, I thought it was cold when you got married.
It was freezing cold.
How
And
are
when we
there
turned on
bugs?
the
They're all
heat-
inside.
When we turned on the heat, they all woke up.
They said,
They
Yikes.
defrosted.
They all
all
came
the
out of the
flies
chimneys?
rose from the dead.
Literally what happened.
Oh.
And
those
they're
ones in the
all-
line weren't actually dead. They
They
came
were-
out of the vacuum.
They were trying to play possum.
Thousands of them flying up in the lights and everything.
Oh.
And I'm like, I think we're going to have to get a hotel. And we're in the middle of nowhere. There's no hotels anywhere near where we are.
The
And
cabin is made out of bugs. It's just bugs all kind of close together into this house. form.
legitimately how I felt. But it was like such a beautiful place. But eventually we just learned how to deal with it. And I conquered
You learned how to
How do you
deal
deal
with
with
it.
Man, I
How do
would've
you
gotten
deal
a
with that?
hotel
It
so
got
fast.
it got better.
You just get
I
saran
just- I'm
wrap and
just
just wrap yourself.
I'm just pretending the blanket's moving. There's
If-
nothing on
If
me.
you don't turn on
It's
the
one of
lights,
those
you're
heat
fine.
blankets. You
As
know,
long
it's
as-
got a little shock to it 'cause it's electric.
As long as you don't turn on the lights, you're fine.
Oh,
You can still feel it
Alex.
though. You
No,
still
no,
feel
now
it.
that you no, they're just.
I would
they
sleep in
just-
the car.
They're asleep.
You're asleep. You just turn the light off. They're like, oh, it's time to go to bed, guys.
It's not like it's a dog in your bed, like he's cuddling
No, I
next
know.
to you.
They just they I don't know. They lie dormant or something. When
Was
the
it
lights
just
are off.
flies or?
Flies and these weird like something. They all flew. All
How many did you
gross.
eat in your sleep?
Probably.
Oh,
thousands.
dude, he's good for the year.
Good
Isn't
for
it like
my
you
life,
eat 8
my G.
spiders in your lifetime?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, I'm glad it was all flies and not like wasps.
Yeah.
Oh.
Waking up to just millions
Just
of wasps.
dying, just getting stung, waking up and dying from all the.
Good
stings.
morning. Wait.
It was still a good honeymoon despite that. It was just horrifying.
Mhm. What about you?
I speaking of Alex and his wife.
Excuse me.
We
Uh-oh.
was
Where
at
we
their
going with
apartment
this?
after this. After we recorded last time, and I saw their cat. I was like, "Damn, that shit is cute as fuck." So, like 3 days later, I went out and got my own cat. And
Yeah.
I-
He's
Oh, I
Alex
thought you
is-
had owned a cat already. You
No,
really went out and
No,
got
he
a
said
cat.
we went into the apartment. The cat was cute as shit, and so he was like, "Oh, I'm getting a cat."
And he-
That's it.
He
I'm
looked at
getting
it for 3 seconds. He wasn't even in my apartment
No.
for a whole 5 minutes.
But
Yeah.
fuck Alex's cat. That's the reason you guys didn't get an episode on time or episode 9 didn't come out on time.
So I was uploading it overnight, and then I go to lay down, and I see my cat run across my keyboard on my laptop, and I
Delete.
was like, dude, I swear to God, if he did something wrong, and I go and I look, and everything looks fine, but it had backed out of the screen, stopped it from uploading,
Yeah,
hit the pause button or something.
yeah. That cat's an asshole.
So I uploaded it when I got home from work.
They're all assholes, but
Yeah, I
like
didn't know
cats.
that's what happened. I didn't know. I thought you had already owned a cat.
no, like
I didn't know you.
Oh.
I didn't even hear
No.
anything about you. I thought you
You
just
bought
owned
that
one.
cat because of Alex's cat.
Yes.
Well, it's a nice cat.
Yeah, I just
You
showed
have a
up
nice
at home.
cat.
I was like, "Mom,
I bought.
Dad,
Look what I got.
Mom, Dad, big
here's
fan.
Kilo."
This is Kilo.
Why'd you name him that?
It was okay. It was better than
I think we all know.
Prince Charles
Or Graham. I think Graham.
Yeah.
Call him Graham.
Graham's a pretty.
That'll be
What
his
about-
next.
ooh, what
That'll
about
be the
Dime
next.
Bag?
That'll be the
Dime
next
Bag.
one.
Graham's like a southern name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Graham.
Graham.
Well, if you spell it,
Like-
G-R-
it's
like Billy Graham?
Yeah, Graham. Yeah.
yeah, not
Like
that kind of
like the
Graham.
cracker,
No,
like the
no.
good graham cracker.
You're just burying yourself in a hole now.
I said Billy Graham, and you said, yeah, like the cracker.
Yeah, like a cracker. Go ahead, Tucker. You had something?
Okay, so if you can't tell,
Sorry.
if you
Wait,
can't,
the racist gun.
yeah, we don't
Oh,
have
We have to get it for next
it's in
episode.
my. I think it's in my car.
We'll have it next week.
one. Pause.
No, yeah, we'll
Okay, we're
get
gonna go
it.
get it real quick. No, okay, but so if you can't tell, whenever you you listen so far from you hear me speak, I do have like a little bit of a lisp, sorta, because I have recently just got my wisdom teeth taken out.
Tucker, and it's funny because Tucker was like, "This medicine's making me really irritable," and
It
That's
was.
what happened.
I noticed because when you sent a link to the group, and it was of like the creepy Le Chapa
Oh yeah.
Oh,
thing, and I was like, "You don't remember? You sent this to us a couple years ago, G," and you were like, "Oh," and I was like, you don't remember? And you said, no. It's like, dang, dude, Tucker normally
that
has
was-
something funny to say, but he was just like, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
I really don't remember. Dude.
I mean, that literally was the inspiration for the creature design, and I was the creature.
Mm-hmm.
I was the.
La Shapa, if you haven't seen it, go on Made Legit Media on YouTube and check it out.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Okay, so back to
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
irritable part. Just more of, I want to start from the night before I went and got it done. So this is about a week and a couple days ago that I had got my wisdom teeth taken out. So
I
in
wish we
pain.
could have picked you up and recorded.
Ooh.
that.
I wasn't. No.
yes.
Well, I'll get to that part.
Yeah.
But so the night before, I don't remember if I told. I know you guys probably know. I don't think Sahil knows about it. But the night before, I was real nervous about it because I'd never had any surgery, never been under before, never broken any bones, just never had any issues really. So night before, I had finally went to sleep, and I guess I had a dream that I had already had my surgery. And it was like maybe at 2 or 3 in the morning. Or no. Yeah, it was like 2 in the morning. It was like 2 in the morning. And so I woke up.
What are you doing? What's in your mouth?
There you go.
He had a big cloud
Oh,
in his
jewel.
mouth.
I
Jewel
was laughing
cloud.
at this dream. We'll talk about it later. but-
No, we'll talk about it right after this.
But so like I had this dream, and I woke up and I looked at my clock. So I went to bed probably at like 2, or no, at like midnight, maybe a little bit before. I looked at at my phone, and it said it was like 2:30. And for some reason, I thought there was light behind me. So I was like, oh, like I already had my surgery, and I went back to bed. Like, I don't even remember it. And I looked, and I was disappointed because it was still nighttime. So I was like, dang, I slept for like 2 hours.
Oh.
So eventually, I went back to sleep and had to wake up. My surgery was like 7:30 in the morning just so I could get out of the way. So I got to the place. They were talking to me. I was like, oh, yeah, like I'm real nervous or whatever. And so they brought me back to the room, gave me a blanket. They were talking to me, and they put the little, like, the gas over my nose to kind of calm me down.
Dude,
Motherfucking
that
gas.
stuff, that goofy gas is so
It calmed it.
amazing.
It smells like
I was-
bubble gum.
It
Well-
smells great, and I felt so damn good.
Have
when
all
I-
of you gotten your wisdom teeth taken
Yeah,
out?
Oh, yeah.
I have. Yeah.
Well, I've had
Have
many
you?
surgeries.
I
so-
haven't.
Do you
No,
have to?
I mean, you
At
probably-
one point, I thought I had to, but it stopped. The pain stopped.
Well, the dentist, I remember he put me on it for a long time because I was waiting on him to come in, and I was just on it for a while, just laying there, and I'm just like laying there dead, and he's like, "Hey man, how you feeling?" And I was just like,
Great.
"Hello, how are you feeling?" And I was just like, "Yeah, good,
Go.
I'm good." And then he just was like, "Good night," and just I passed out and woke up a couple hours later. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, mine's a little very similar to that, but
Really good.
mine didn't smell good. It just smelled like air.
Oh,
Oh.
So I just was smelling it, and I was real nervous.
It was
But as
just
soon as
carbon
it was put on my
monoxide.
basically, so I
dies.
just put it on my face, and then I just got real like calm. So I wasn't nervous anymore. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So then the doctor came in, and come to find out that he's a Kentucky fan. I've worn my Tennessee jacket on here before, so I'm a big sports fan. But I come to find out he's a Kentucky fan, and so I was talking to him about basketball or whatever, because now it's getting into college basketball, and I was watching him. And he was moving the IV thing closer to me, and then he grabbed the thing to poke my arm, and I was watching him, and he went and poked me. And he said, or no, I was like, was that it? And he was like, was that what? And the next thing I know, I'm waking up. I literally just like,
Yeah.
as soon as and then I just woke up, and I was like, I was sitting there just kind of like, still wanting to sleep, and they're like, Tucker, wake up. And they're like touching me, and I was like,
Yeah,
I was like, I was going to sleep. Like, it was like a good sleep. The
Yeah.
one girl at the office was like, it's the best sleep, which made me kind of worried for a second that she would say,
Yeah.
like, oh, it's the best sleep.
It
But,
is.
I mean, she
Yeah,
was.
because you
she
know
wasn't
they back
wrong.
there huffing it. you know what I'm
I've
saying?
been.
She
I've
just goes like, puts in she's in her arm on break. She's goes to bed.
she's got a belt, pulls it
Dear
tight.
God.
No, I've had surgery multiple times on many different parts of my body, and
Yes.
every time they put me under, it is the only time I get a full night's sleep.
Well, it's like the thing is, so when I woke up afterwards, I was more just groggy from waking up, but I never really, like a lot of people have like that funny moment when they get their wisdom teeth taken out. Luckily, mine wasn't, because I didn't want to have anything bad happen. That maybe I say something or something that would damn me if I.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm scared
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
So I never did. I was fine. Like I literally just woke up and then Oh, never mind. I thought it.
I was playing with this. My
Okay,
bad.
I heard a noise, but no, I just woke up. I was a little tired, and they put me they got me into a wheelchair and then rolled me out. I was fine. Like I was
Nothing-
very groggy, but nothing funny happened.
I
Nothing
almost-
funny. Why did you tell us the story then?
That's just my
Just a
that's my
personal
story.
Okay,
I almost
sorry,
feel like
sorry,
the stuff where like people say like random stuff is fake because when I got mine out, I was like, "Does the surgery go good?" And they're like, "Yeah," and I was like,
Good.
cool.
All right. Bye.
And I
Well-
didn't say a word until
Just
I went
drives
home.
home.
and was
After I
like,
got
"Oh."
my wisdom teeth taken out, that was the case. But when I broke my arm real bad, like I broke my arm and this bone was up here and this
Ooh.
bone was down here, so
Radius
my arm
animal.
went like in a
The
zigzag.
Z-snap. You're like,
Yeah.
Your arm looks like this.
And I remember waking up just being like, I'm so confused. Oh, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. And just kept going on and on.
Saying
Yeah, and my mom's like, Brett. Brett, stop it. Stop doing that. By the way, I forgot to read it in my mom's voice. The
Aw.
comment, the review.
We'll read the next one.
yeah. My mom's other review I'll read in her voice.
Dude, Brett's body's like fucked up. Like his knee like jingle, like it's like holding an ornament
Hey,
and like
honestly-
shaking it around.
Jingles?
dude.
Oh yeah, whenever I do any like leg exercise, you'll just hear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I've got a
literally
bone.
like
Well, I've got a bone shard that it was funny because in high school I landed on my knee playing lacrosse because I'm white, and it hurt really bad. I went to the doctor. The doctor's like, "Well, you have a slight, like a tiny little bone shard, in your swimming around in your knee cap." Around your kneecap or whatever, and that's why every now and then it'll start hurting because it'll get lodged underneath or something. He was
Ooh.
like, either you pay $1,000 and you can get it removed, or you can just wait for it to latch onto something and eventually scar tissue will cover it up or something will cover it up or whatever. My dad's like, well, time for you to deal with it. And so that was it for that. So
Sounds good.
but yeah, no, my knee cracks a lot. I've got bad ankles. My shoulder I injured working out. Broke my arm. I had a good old cyst on up on my ass crack. So when I got it removed,
I know
my
someone else that had that.
my butt crack is a half an inch shorter than an average butt crack.
Really?
Yep, because I had to get it sewn up.
You like that Hank Hill butt?
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm thicker than that,
Yeah,
boy.
but like lengthwise. It's
Yeah,
like a real
yeah,
short.
it's just down
Very
at the
compact,
very
but
bottom.
thick.
Oh.
It's thick, but it's like
It's a
like
bubble,
like a
but
Big Mac.
yeah, the crack is like halfway. Oh my god! Just compared my ass to a Big Mac.
And he did the hand motions.
Oh god.
Oh.
Anyways,
You got a cute old booty though.
so are we done with these? No, we got the.
Yeah.
You want me to read it?
I want to read it the way
Okay.
we were talking to each other. But
Okay.
While Brett's loading that up,
I got it, but you're good.
and we were talking about high school sports real quick. This kid I went to high school with, Jordan Lyons,
Yeah.
plays basketball for Furman,
Yeah.
and he actually he tied the 3-point record. So he's one of the national 3-point holder records.
Like recently?
Yeah, recently the other day, and they beat Villanova.
They beat Villanova too.
Yeah,
I saw
he
that.
was on that team. So
Oh, he's on that team?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So
Yeah, sports.
sports.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sport ball.
Love
What's
sport.
So
that?
congratulations
love-
to him. He's
Congrats,
an
bro.
awesome,
I
genuine
love
Sorry about
dribbling the football down the basketball field.
Yep. Score touch ball.
Score touch ball.
So I had a dream
down.
about Brett the other day, and I decided to text him. So we're just gonna read.
Is this sexual in nature?
Oh,
Just-
you want?
just
Okay,
asking.
you want me
Yeah,
to read
yeah,
my part?
asking
Got
for a
you.
friend?
We're gonna read it the way it went.
I'm an
Okay.
actor,
And it's
so-
not necessarily sexual, but it turned kind of.
I'm an actor.
My Meisner training is gonna really come in handy for this one.
So I was like,
Thank you.
I texted Brett on a Friday. I was like, bro, I had a dream and you were in it. None of that homo shit, though.
You nutted on me and kissed me goodnight.
No, I was laying with this
Nice.
girl and we went to sleep and I had a dream. Within the dream I'm already having where I was laying with another girl and we were about to sleep. And
He's a hoe in his dreams too.
And I turn over and she starts bashing my skull in with a dense piece of wood. Then I wake up in this dream and then I walked over to the next house and you and Rebecca were there and I told y'all. And then I nutted on you and kissed you goodnight.
Always got to do it. Well, you can't leave without it.
That's it. That
I
shit
just
was
thought
so
that shit was funny.
But and then after that, I nutted you and kissed you goodnight.
Oh,
So this past, I think it was last week, 2 teachers got caught trying to have a threesome with an 8th grade. I think it was 8th grade boy.
Wait, trying to or like were they? Did
No, they did.
Oh, nice.
Rip
Yeah.
that boy's future.
Yeah. So
No, they
There's
protect
that.
his name probably. Like by law,
Yeah.
they can't expose him.
Look,
I'm not
man,
talking about. I'm
I
talking
get
about
it.
His psychological damage that he's
Right.
gonna go through.
no, I get that, and I know that, and I'm not making fun of this kid at all, and I understand that it can really mess you up in the head.
Yeah.
But dog, when I was in the 8th grade, everything made me horny.
You almost said wet for a second.
No, I was gonna say whack off or something. I was not gonna say
You
wet.
I was like, wait a minute. I heard
Everything
I heard
made
like
me wet.
horny.
Everything. When I was in the
Horny.
8th grade, dude, like a nice breeze would get me going, dog. I was like, wow,
Like
I need to
you're-
go home, guys.
You're like waiting for the bus, and you're just like,
Oh yeah, no, that was the worst. Was when you'd get just like a random boner, and
Yeah.
then that's when the teacher's like, "Can you come up and do this math problem?"
no.
You got to bring a book, like you're gonna use it to help, like, but you just hold it there.
No, that's
like
literally-
you were
I'm
really
I'm holding
hiding
a quadratic
something.
formula.
I had a duffel bag instead of a book bag, just so that when I walked out in the hallway, I could put it in front of me. And
That's
but I knew.
fucking smart.
We already knew.
I was
No.
ready, dude. I had a boner
He lived
90% of the day.
3008.
No.
Yeah.
What you got to do is put both your hands in your pockets and grab one.
No, but you can see your hand is clearly in a fist.
You don't know.
Or you just put your.
I can definitely see.
fist. I didn't wear skinny jeans back then.
Okay, I can definitely see that I'm holding something in my pocket.
Or you
if-
could just like tuck it.
but you can see the bulge
Yeah.
that your hand is near.
old peepee in 8th grade.
All right.
No,
well,
if you
Like,
if
I'm
you
just
have a
saying.
boner, all you got to do is waistband that guy,
Yeah,
and it'll go to
you're right.
sleep.
No,
after a while.
but see that
it's uncomfortable.
That's dangerous if you're wearing a short shirt.
that's what I'm saying.
Waistband.
Waistband that guy like you.
You've never heard.
You don't know what that is?
Oh,
when
like
you
pull it
pull
up.
it
Yeah,
up
pull it
and
up.
your
For some
waistband
reason,
holds
I was
it.
thinking like a rubber band tied around your dick. I was like,
Absolutely
I'm
not.
sure
I was like,
Some
whoa.
people
I was like,
are
he just
into
about
that.
to go to sleep, and I was like trying to like strangle it to go to
Oh
sleep.
my god!
That's why I was like,
What?
whoa.
No, I just want to tell you that
Whoa.
I remember the first time I got a boner, and it was in the 5th grade, and
Was
I
you
was
laying
sitting
on the
there,
floor?
and I had this hot teacher,
Laying
right?
on-
No,
That
like,
always happens.
I had this fucking hot teacher,
Dear
and then she
God.
got pregnant, and then her boobies got bigger, and then I was like, "Oh my god, what is happening?" I'm
remember
like, I'm like
that.
hitting it. I'm like, "Go to sleep, you
What's
fucking
hap-
beast."
What's happening? Dog.
Sorry.
No, speaking of that though, my 8th grade math teacher was the hottest woman at the time for me. That woman was the most beautiful human being I think I had ever seen at that point.
We went to the same middle school.
Yeah.
right?
I'm not gonna say. Do not say her name. I'm
trying to
not gonna
think.
say
I
her
don't know
name.
who.
You probably had this. I think there was one. No, there were 2, and the other one certainly was not it. So I think you know.
I know the one.
Yeah.
Actually, that's. I'm talking about. I have something that's actually coming up. Today. Surprisingly. It's funny you mentioned that.
No, but so no, I guess poor guy, but I mean he's
I mean, honestly, it's he probably
It's
was okay
traumatizing.
with it, but it's still not good.
I had well, never mind. I don't want to talk about it because everybody will know. All of my friends will know who I'm talking about. But there was a student at our.
That fucking stud. Yeah, I remember that. But
Yeah,
either
no.
way.
Sahil was like, Sahil said something the other day about some kid having sex with a teacher, and he was like your friend, and I was like, he was not my friend. I was not cool enough to be his friend.
No, but I'll tell you, there was another story a while back. This kid got caught like stooping his teacher. No, he snitched on her. This is what happened. They were having sex, and then he like threatened to tell or whatever. So she paid him $30,000
$30,000
in cash. In cash.
That was not her teacher money. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
And then he still told on her. I was like, this kid, like people, people don't know how good they have it. Like that made me so mad.
No.
And she was good looking. She was really. She was
They're
like
always
Asianish. She
They
was
always
really
are.
cute.
Asianish.
Yeah.
Nice.
She looked like my friend Nick Lavelle, but hot.
Nick Lavelle. He's a big fan of the show. He watches like the moment it comes out.
Appreciate you.
We love you, Nick.
Thank you.
I mean, this show's really just for all of our friends because nobody else watches it.
And I say Asianish because like I met someone else that went to high school with him. I was like, do you know?
Well, you're Asian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
technically.
yeah,
yeah.
You can get past it.
And I was like,
Yeah, never mind. You're good.
I was like-
I'm sorry. I apologize. You can say that.
I was like, do you know Nick Lavelle? And he was trying to think of like, and it's a white guy, so he was trying to think of a non-offensive way to say. He was like, the one who looks kinda like, and he's like making eye gestures.
Whoa.
You did
I'm
the
like,
exact opposite.
I'm like,
you
yeah.
can just say anything else.
I'm like, yeah, he's like Asianish,
Yeah, you could just say Asian. I don't know why you got to be racist about it.
but he's not like fully. You can tell he's not full Asian when you look at him.
Y'all got any awkward 8th grade stories though?
Oh,
Actually, you know what? I want to do it because it segues into the teacher that we know, that we both know. So, okay, this is in middle school. This is me in 7th grade, not like 8th grade. This is a year before that incident, which if you haven't heard that story, go back and listen to some of our other episodes. 'cause
The
that was in 8th
incident.
grade.
What was
The-
that?
The
Episode
incident.
10 when we talked
Yeah,
about you
yeah.
pooping your pants in the
It was
8th grade.
awesome. Yeah, this is awesome. This is another awkward story. Not as bad, but it's still awkward. So this is me in 7th grade in her class. Because all the teachers at the school, they teach every grade. Just different difficulty whenever it goes up. So I was in her class and she was out for that day, which was awesome. Because me and her did not get along.
The
Did
Tucker,
not,
you
yeah.
were disagreeable with any human ever? What?
With the hot teacher, bro, I would
No,
kiss
no,
and
no,
make
no,
out.
no, no,
This
no,
is
no, no,
the
no. This
the
is
other
not
one I referred
Oh, the
to.
anti-hot
The not-
teacher.
the cold one.
Yeah, the
Cold
cold
Her
one.
arch nemesis.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she wasn't there that day, so I was like, oh, cool. Very nice. But
Thank
then
you,
here
Kanye.
comes-
Very
Here comes
cool.
a sub, though, that I also don't like. So we're in class. I think this is for literature. I think because she did both. She did literature, and then she also did math. Because, they middle school. You just do everything.
She was a bacon.
Yes. Okay, so it definitely
Yeah,
is
we
the
know
same.
what we're talking about, just to be
But-
sure.
So we're in class. We have to go. We're like rehearsing for some play. We have to do some play in class, and we go outside.
Yeah,
though,
dude,
'cause it's
plays are
nice.
dumb, dude. Actors are stupid.
Well, no, but we're not even in. We're literally just doing it in class for no reason.
Yeah,
There's no
no.
audience. We're just doing it. So we actually go outside because it was a nice day, and we're going out there and we were rehearsing, doing whatever. So I was like, I have to go to the restroom, and
Oh no.
she's like, no, it's like
He
no,
shits his
just-
pants right
no,
there.
it's a different kind of number one. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom, and she was like, you can hold it. Like, I was like, okay. So
Oh man,
I waited.
she
I
looked
waited
like the kind
20
of she looked like the kind of teacher that would be like, "Oh, you can hold it."
No,
No,
it's
this
a
is a sub.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
the
a
sub.
I don't want to
Oh.
say her name. I could. But
I think I know who
you
you're talking
probably know
about
who it
because
is, too.
I remember.
but
them.
she
was mad. She was mean.
but she so I couldn't go. I was like, okay, whatever. So I waited another 20 minutes. I was like, I really got to go. She was like, no, like we're almost done, which we weren't. We were gonna stay outside. We still had like at least 30 more minutes left to class outside to just do whatever because no one was rehearsing anymore. So it's like, okay, bet. Walk to the behind, like where the gym is, where it goes to the woods right there.
Yeah.
I just walked over there, went and peed, came back. She was like, and then everyone was like laughing because I just went to the bathroom. Like, I guess that was funny.
I mean, it's the 8th grade. It's always
Seventh,
fun.
well, 7th grade. This is 7th grade at this point. But she,
I could not hold it, man.
yeah, I literally told her, like, I was like, I had to go. Like, I asked to go twice.
Yeah, what is she
So
gonna
I
do?
really-
Like report you? Yeah.
Well, that she did. So here comes the resource officer comes out and
with
take
his
me.
gun drawn.
Yeah,
No,
on the ground.
Tucker's not suspicious.
I had my
enough.
shorts and my hoodie
If you
on,
know
like
what
I
I'm
always
saying.
do.
Lay in your pee-pee.
Man, if that was me, I'd be on the ground.
Well, no, he was. I mean, he was pretty.
Lovely
pretty
day
upset
we're
about
having,
it.
officer.
But you know who I'm talking about
Yeah.
too. So he took me to his like resource officer office, which is literally just like it was like a desk, a chair.
It's
like
one of the closets
it's
that
literally-
used to
yeah,
have
it's like
mops
There's nothing
in it.
in there.
Yeah.
There was nothing in there besides like just stuff for him.
All right, Alex has to sneeze. I think
And then
blow his nose.
so we go in there and he's talking to me and he was like, hey,
we can sneeze.
did you hear that? Did you guys hear that?
We can hear it. Yeah, they probably could. These are cheap mics.
Alright.
We're good. Go
That shit
ahead,
was
Tucker.
But so I was talking to him whatever, and he was like, "I can get you in trouble for indecent exposure. And you can go to juvie for whatever. And I was like, I just really had to go. Like, I was about to cry.
She wouldn't let
He
you
almost
pee.
made me cry because I was like, I just really had to go to the bathroom, and she wouldn't let me go. He was like, okay.
Oh, you know when you're in the 7th grade and somebody says something like that and you're a sweet white boy like
yeah,
me
I haven't
and
done
you,
anything.
you immediately have a panic attack as soon as you hear anything like that. So you're just, I didn't know.
He was flexing his authority so hard.
Yeah.
So we just, I told him like, oh, I can't, like I just really had to go, and all this other stuff, and then I just went back, and he told me that he would give me a warning, and so I got like a write up warning, and then sent me back to class, and of course I'm walking back like I didn't get in trouble.
yeah.
Of course I got a write up, but I didn't get in like trouble. So.
For my whole middle school time, I was really about this one girl who had red hair, and I was very deeply
Fond of her.
She did not give me the time of day. As I've previously stated, I was not a good-looking boy.
Always.
In the 8th grade, I experienced that 100%, 110% of the time.
Me too.
Nice.
8th grade was a
Oh,
rough time.
rejection?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
By
So
women. And
From
guys,
women.
friends.
Wait, but I
Women.
just want to note that
Couldn't.
a girl that curved me in 8th grade DM'd me the other day. So.
bro, we're going there.
Man, I fucking love you.
Some of my 8th grade bullies actually enjoy a lot of my stuff that I post, so that's pretty funny.
Thank
Yeah.
you, bullies.
Yeah,
You molded me.
it's funny. Yeah, you made me who I am today.
I owe you a lot.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I have two stories I want to tell now, but I'll save the other one for later. Anyways, so there was this girl from 6th grade to 8th grade. No, 6th grade to 9th grade that I was completely after, 100% down for. I was just serving this girl love letters, all this bull crap, and I'm just...
Alex is a very sensitive guy
I
too,
am.
so he's a sweetheart when it comes to stuff like that.
I looked like a blueberry with pubic hair on his head.
Mm-hmm.
My hair was like
Sweet.
very afroic.
Oh yes,
Um,
Afroic.
I like
Ooh,
that.
Mm,
We
that's
just
a-
coined it.
I
and
like that
ours.
word. That's a good word.
It's
And-
our word.
In 8th grade, I really started to get that acne going right around
Oh.
the mouth.
Yeah.
Right around the mouth.
Where everybody likes to be kissed,
Right.
right?
Not me, apparently.
Yeah.
I used to wear Cookie Monster shirts about every day.
I know you got a joke for that one, right?
No, I was just laughing.
All right.
Okay, good. Anyways, so finally in 8th grade, our schedule is exactly the same, and she can escape me.
Mhm.
And eventually, she actually starts to get a crush on me, like me kind of, and I'm like all about it. But then I start dating this other girl. She gets jealous and says, "Hey, you need to break up with that girl and her no boob self." And I went,
Oh, got him.
I was like, you're wrong. She goes to
Oh, really? Because you're wrong.
She goes to some kind of pool party, and that girl happens to be there, and she was like, I was wrong. What? What?
This is funny.
Sahil's got some
your story.
got some good reactions from Sahil.
So after this, no.
Shoot,
I
sorry.
got it. No.
Okay, my bad. It looked like you were away from it.
So that girl, I finally get up the nerve to ask her to the dance, the final dance of 8th grade formal or whatever. And she agrees, doesn't ride with me, just decides to meet me there. She was also friends with a lot of lesbian girls who were very mean to me.
Because you were getting in on their one girl that they had a crush on.
Yeah, and she was...
They were trying to
They
flip.
thought you was one of them.
She was...
They thought you were one of the lesbian friends.
Yeah, with that haircut. She was real fine. So I guess they're all trying to get in with her. But so I asked her to dance. I've been practicing my dancing with my mom. My mom taught me how to
Dude.
slow dance, y'all.
Nice.
That's cute.
No, it's cute because if you were at Alex's wedding, my man did a really good job with his wife and his mom.
Well,
Thanks,
yeah,
Mom.
it's all her. Anyways, so I asked this girl to dance that I asked to the dance, and she was like, "Oh, I have to dance with this other girl." I was like, "Okay."
Weird flex, but okay.
And
Weird
then she was
flex.
like, "You can dance with this other girl." And I'm like,
But-
"Okay." And it's the girl that I don't like and is very mean to me and is a lesbian. And so we're just dancing, and
She takes the lead.
she
No doubt.
no. She was actually she was
8th grade. What?
she went through puberty before you did.
So we're just sitting there dancing together to this really slow, beautiful song, and then she gets off and goes and tells the girl. She's like, you really need to go dance with him because I'm questioning my sexuality right now.
I guess that's a little.
You ain't been doing that. You're in the 8th grade.
This is 8th grade.
I feel like we were all questioning our sexuality at that point, right?
So
Were we?
Brett, you got a confession.
I'm
Got
just
another
saying.
story?
You developing all that stuff at that time.
so
He got
We-
the juice.
finally got to dance with her. Didn't get the kiss. She ended up kissing me
Eat
a
my
year
dick,
later,
dude.
Nice.
leaving me in the dust.
Ooh.
And then she hit me up a couple years later, and I said,
You
That's it.
curved her.
Nice.
Nice.
I want to go
I
over the
curved her.
last thing before we get into medium rare.
Yeah, we about to. Yeah.
One of my friends in 8th grade had a girlfriend at the time, and she was like cute. And I was like, I didn't quite understand the relationship. I was like, how do you drive to one another's house? But they were getting dropped off because
Right.
that's apparently the normal thing to do in 8th grade, which I didn't know because I was a fucking loser. Either way,
"So what? You rode the bus?"
no, I got dropped off to school, but I didn't understand like going to a girl's house, like my dad dropping me off to a girl's house. I didn't
got you.
understand that.
I got you.
And then so like they came back to school one day. Like we came back from one weekend, and there's like everyone's talking about them. I'm like so confused. I'm like, what happened? And I was like, what's everyone saying, bro? And he was like, I got my dick sucked this week. And he was like, at
Nice.
NCG. And then so I guess that's normal. Like people start like experimenting at that age. But what I didn't understand was the science behind it, because his mom dropped him
The
off.
science behind it?
Listen,
Sahil did some tests.
He's like,
I
so this
really-
is my hypothesis.
father.
I had to analyze the fuck out of this. So I was like,
So I got 3 girls. We all went to NCG.
no,
Also,
no,
my,
One
dick.
out of 3 chance.
no,
I saw so many movies that weekend.
My mom, thank you.
Oh God. No girl was gonna go to NCG with me, so I had to run.
That's true. I watched other people on dates with girls at NCG.
I had to run a computer model and understand this. So like my whole thought process was
Look
like,
at the stats.
no, look, listen. His mom dropped him off,
Yeah.
and her dad dropped her off,
Yeah.
and then she blew him, and then her dad picked her up and took her home. Like that just blew my mind.
Oh,
But that's all I have to say. I was like, I didn't understand this. I was
he
like,
must be proud.
y'all was getting dropped off and doing all of this.
Well, listen, in the 8th grade, I try to forget most of it because I was bullied a lot. I was a chubby boy. Everybody said I looked like Jack Black. But I went from
Not bad.
I
That's
went
not
from
bad, though.
I went from Jack Black to Henry Cavill, so I think I'm upgrading a little bit in the world. Anyway,
Hello.
speaking of the 8th grade though and bullies, Robert Downey Jr. actually bullied a kid so much he found him reading an Iron Man comic and called him a dork and ripped the comic in half. And so that segues us into our subject today, is Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
I didn't know he did that. That's
Yeah.
kind of bad.
Yep. No, but
I don't know how I feel about that.
so with
Made me kinda sad.
Stan Lee's passing, we decided to do we would have done, I think it would have been better to do Spider-Man, but we
Yeah.
planned for Iron Man prior before Stan Lee passed away.
The synchronicities.
So yeah, we wanted to that's probably it's not good. That's Stan Lee dying is not a good thing. I'm just saying.
Oh no,
Rest
it's
in peace.
definitely bad. But it's
I
like,
just
what are the
wanted
odds?
I just wanted to say that he has been a huge influence on my life, why I want to be an entertainer. I've read almost everything that he's ever written. He created Iron Man. But with his passing, I just wanted to tell him and even though him and his family, well, he definitely won't ever listen to this, but his family.
You never know what's going on up there.
Yeah,
my
you're
G.
right. He might be looking down on us. So, Stan, we love you. We're so glad we got to cherish all the memories of reading all of your great stories and enjoying all of your beautiful
Amazing
characters.
characters.
So, we love you, Stan Lee. So, yeah, Iron Man. And we're changing it up because we don't know what we're doing here at this podcast. So
Not
we're,
just yet. We're still feeling around.
Yeah.
I heard a quote that said, if you're under 100 podcasts, you don't have a clue what you're doing. And I hope that's true because we're on number 11 and everything has been a rocky start.
We don't know.
Quickly
we
evolving.
still don't know.
We think it's good, but then it's like,
Yeah.
Yep, that sums it up. This has been a TED Talk. No, but yeah, so we're gonna do it differently. From now on, we've kind of got it organized in a way where we're gonna do one subject, so we all know what we're talking about. We can do our own research, but we're gonna have just our own researchers do the research for us. and then they're going to tell all of us about the topic. So
Yes.
it'll still be medium rare because we still don't really know what we're talking about, but we're all
just
talking
know
about
the topic.
Yeah, we're all talking about the same thing, so we can dive deeper into one subject rather than sort of diving into a bunch of smaller subjects.
Right.
All right, so this week Sahil did a lot of research on Iron Man.
Show did.
TYG.
So Iron Man was co-created by Stan Lee and Larry Lieber. Stan Lee mainly did the writing and the editing, and Larry Lieber did a lot of the stories at first.
Mhm.
And they get more authors over time. And
Of
within
course,
Marvel.
Jack King Kirby though too. He did most of the illustrations for
Yeah,
pretty much
Jack
every-
Kirby and Don Heck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Kirby
Ooh.
is a big name though. He passed away not too long ago, but him and Stan Lee always worked together in the early Marvel, like Golden Age of Marvel.
The greats.
Definitely.
Iron Man made his first appearance in Tales of Suspense. That was in March 1963. And 5 years later, he got his own comic book. So Anthony Edward Tony Stark basically suffered a chest injury during a kidnapping, and captors forced him to build a weapon of mass destruction. And if you watch the movies, you know that he built a suit instead of building a
In
weapon
the-
of mass destruction.
Yeah, in the comic books, it was taking place in Vietnam. In the movie, it was taking place in Iran because it's more modern.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it was
like
relevant
initially,
to
Or
the war.
Iraq.
yeah,
Yeah, Afghanistan actually, I think.
Okay.
yeah. But it was like a Middle Eastern country.
I was gonna.
No. We don't have the gun. You can't do that.
You can do it.
It wasn't Afghanistan, I'll tell you that. It was deserty.
You
so
can
not-
do
It was very
Deserty.
deserty. Yes.
Very
It was not
deserty.
Afghanistan.
The
Afghanistan's all
60s
mountains.
definitely makes sense for Vietnam, but for modern era.
Right.
the
Yeah,
Middle
so
East.
Iron Man was basically, as quoted, a vehicle for Stan Lee to explore Cold War themes, and it was like a lot of anti-communism, which changed later because Tony starts questioning his stance on politics.
Mhm.
And
he's the first character that wasn't like Stan Lee tried to write characters that were more relatable for the audience, but he wanted to show the audience more what it was like for a character who had everything and how he has to deal with those issues.
But
of
also
saving
someone
the
who
world.
was completely human and didn't have any other like superhuman abilities.
yeah.
yeah,
Which is
and
one of the
which
first
changed a little
characters.
bit later on
Right.
due to his own genius. But and then so everyone knows, mostly everyone knows Iron Man through Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of him.
Right.
Which is fantastic.
Well, he was born for that.
Yes.
He
He
is
is.
He
Iron
knows
Man.
he is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he really is like the exact same person.
Yeah, and I'll delve into that a little deeper later.
Right.
So Anthony Edward Stark was the wealthy son of industrialist of the head of Stark Industries, Howard Stark,
Mm-hmm.
and his parents died in a car accident early on.
Right.
He went to MIT in the Marvel universe,
Yeah.
and he went there at the age of 15, graduated 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy
He's
is
a genius.
Genius, yeah.
Yes.
Genius.
His
billionaire,
original
playboy
captor
forger.
was Wong Chu in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Wong Chu,
Yeah.
who was a commander.
Do we?
for
What's his name in the movie? Do you remember?
No, I
Ooh,
don't.
no.
I don't.
It was an Arab guy though.
Yeah.
It wasn't a.
Middle Eastern guy.
It was Arab bad. Should I not have
It's a
said
little-
that? My bad. He was.
PI.
Middle Eastern.
Digging a hole here.
So basically, he had a fellow prisoner when he was
Yeah.
when
That's
his
what I
name
meant.
was Ho Yin Sen in the original comic.
Gotcha.
A Nobel Peace Prize winner. I mean, not Peace Prize, Nobel Physicist Prize winner. And Stark actually admired him during college, which is something they didn't follow through with the movie.
Right.
Stark was actually a big fan of his.
And in the movie, even in 3, he was a big fan of Tony Stark's, right? Because in
Yeah.
3, they went back to the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
In the
and
beginning.
they'd met in a convention in Geneva.
which also Jon Favreau, who plays the
Happy.
security Happy, he's the director of the first movie.
Yep.
He's fantastic.
He
And
is
he did a
great
great
in it.
job. You know, most of that movie, it was just like toe to toe. Like they changed everything
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
as they went.
Yeah. That was a big thing too. The movie, it was like it had so many problems behind the scenes and ended up making. And this was the beginning of the Marvel universe because Iron Man was just a throwaway character
Yeah.
at the time. So this is like the beginning of the Marvel universe, and everything was going wrong. And now it's the highest like grossing
Yeah.
franchise. Of
Even
all
the
time.
movie wasn't supposed to do well. It was supposed to break even, according to
Yeah.
like box office specialists, I guess.
Mhm.
Their budget was 100 million. They were supposed to make 100 million.
Mhm.
Ended up doing like 600 million.
Yeah.
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 And
Did
now,
100 million,
now they'll
like-
make like 600 million every movie.
No
like an
doubt, like-
opening weekend.
Yeah.
More than that.
More than
now.
that. Well, yeah, now especially after Infinity War and stuff.
So then after he had help from Yinsen to build the powered armor, he escapes, and Yinsen had to sacrifice his own life.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in the movie, I forgot the name of
Yeah.
the character, but
I think
Yeah.
it is Jensen in this. In the
It was-
Yeah,
Wasn't?
it is. Yeah, maybe it
think it
is.
is.
It's pronounced. Yeah, it's.
but it wasn't Ho. His first name wasn't Ho.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that's the only thing that changed.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And he's like his ribs are crushed by concrete. That's what it
Yeah.
looks like.
Right. He still sacrifices himself though
Yes.
to make sure Tony gets out.
Right.
So once he escapes, he meets up with James Rhodey Rhodes
Mm-hmm.
back in
War Machine.
in Vietnam. Yeah. And back home, Stark discovers that the shrapnel lodged in his chest can't be removed without killing him. So he's forced to wear the armor chest plate
Right.
throughout. Cover story that Stark tells the media is that Iron Man is his robotic personal bodyguard.
You
and
think he
corporate
ever
mascot.
beat his meat in that suit?
How?
How can he?
How?
I don't know.
I'm sure he has some sort of fixture.
I mean, dude, he's got the suit is like in his pores now or something. Like I'm sure
Yeah,
he
it's
it just
so-
goes like zzz, and
That
it
is
just,
Well, he does have nanotechnology that. But
oh,
he also
got
what
little
if the suit
nanorobots?
does it for him?
Oh, that's probably
That's probably it. That's probably
Okay,
it.
well, first of all, Iron Man is getting laid so much he doesn't need to
That's
be
true.
here.
Absolutely correct. But I'm just saying, like, if he's got to be in hiding for whatever reason or something's going
Well,
on.
I would also like to.
You know, he's experimented with that.
He looks like he's. Oh, Robert Downey
He's
Jr.
looking at
looks
that
like
s-
he's experimenting.
Looking at that suit like
He's looking at that suit like, it's kind of looking.
licking his lips like.
What if let me test something out? He went through a lot of tests
Well, did you know that? Okay, so I think it's in the second one.
for other things.
Rigorous test.
In the second
Hours
movie,
on end.
Iron Man 2, when he's drunk at his birthday party, he tells Pepper that if he pees in the suit, it's automatically
He has a
filtered out.
catheter, yeah.
It's automatically filtered out, and that you could drink the water that it's filtered.
It's
It's
like,
like one of those
Waterworld.
Yeah.
Those little like straw things.
Kevin Costner in
Yes.
Waterworld. Oh,
Ooh.
the life-saving
Because
straw.
Yeah.
Iron Man ends up going to space in some comics. So and he joins the
and he joins
Guardians.
Guardians of the
Yeah,
Galaxy.
and so he has to pee and defecate within his own suit.
Mhm.
So it's all filtrated out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Astronauts need to talk to him because they can't do that.
No, he's got to work for NASA or Elon Musk or something.
SpaceX.
SpaceX.
Go ahead.
New comic, it's just Elon Musk and Iron Man.
Best team up
Right
ever.
down.
Wait, Elon Musk is Tony Stark.
Oh, probably.
Oh, that could be it.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, he's past. I don't know. I think it'll happen eventually. Go ahead.
Elon Musk is so fucking cool, though. Just a
Dude.
side note.
Me and Alex have talked about this, and we'll probably get into this
Well,
later.
we should have a whole episode about him. but-
We should.
Yeah.
Let's do an Elon Musk episode.
Yeah,
Go
we'll,
ahead.
We'll do that. And then,
Write that down.
so in addition to the general purpose model he wears, Stark has several specialized suits like deep sea diving, space travel, stealth, and his Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
Heavy
Actually, his isn't it? It's like his regular Iron Man suit can hold or pick up 100 tons.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the Hulk can also pick up 100 tons.
175.
Ooh.
Okay.
Tons?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to agree.
Well, it depends on the iteration
Yeah.
or the
That's
whatever
Different
the book.
universes, different stats.
It's not different universes, it's the same universe. But the Hulkbuster is stronger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at like almost twice as strong. So then powers. At one point, Stark injects his nervous system with like this modified techno-organic virus, and he kind of turns into the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they've done.
It's called the Extremis process.
Yeah,
or
that's
Extremis.
sort of what they did with Infinity War, but not.
Yeah,
exactly.
it might reach their next step.
Yeah, he
part.
didn't quite get there yet. And
Yeah.
speaking of like later on in the Iron Man movies, he faces the Mandarin in the third one, and the
Quote,
Mandarin
unquote.
was actually supposed to be in the first one.
Well, he does fight the Mandarin, but who you think is the Mandarin
Yeah.
is not.
Right.
yeah,
Spoiler.
and by rewriting his
Spoiler.
by rewriting his own biology, he was able to save his own life, and kind of gain an advanced healing factor. So his regeneration was like off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
Like Spider-Man,
Exactly.
Well, like most Marvel characters.
Wolverine. Yeah.
But then, and they had a storyline called The Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
And the extremist package had to be shut down.
Yeah.
So that's why he eventually changed back.
Yeah, I read that one.
And so it's actually really cool because Iron Man wasn't a hero in every storyline. They had this one storyline where he was the villain,
Yeah.
and he actually sells this extremist
Drug.
process. Yeah, this
Yeah,
drug.
yeah, yeah.
And like he gives it to everyone for free at first, but then it's $100 a day. So he's a true billionaire, like antagonist. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they had a series. It might have been that series where all like there was a main like one bigger villain who I can't remember what it was, but all the villains ended up becoming heroes in the Marvel universe, and all the heroes became villains, and they still fought each other. It was really interesting. I can't remember what it was called though.
That sounds really cool.
It was
Yeah, it
really
does.
cool. It was a while ago though.
So obviously he's a genius. His expertise is in the fields of mathematics, physics, chemistries, and computer science.
Mm-hmm.
And the only person in the Marvel like universe that's up there in terms of heroes is Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
And like a few oddballs, like but none of the popular ones even.
There's a lot of really smart characters though. That's like a big thing that Stan Lee always pushed was like a lot of the leaders were like Mr. Fantastic and
Black Panther's pretty smart too.
well,
Yeah.
Shuri, his sister's the smartest. Shuri is the smartest character in the Marvel
Yeah.
universe. And then, what was it? Mr. Fantastic, Bruce Banner. Like intelligence was a huge thing with his with Stan Lee's
Yeah.
writing,
Yeah, that is a big
Making that seem like the superpower, presenting that,
which
as
is
a
super
superpower.
cool. Because I mean,
Knowledge is
nerdy
power.
kids, dorky kids were the
Can-
ones.
who could relate to that.
Yeah, they were the ones reading the comic books, and they were really. That's how they kind of connected.
But that's how he got a
He
ton of his fan
made
base.
being smart cool for that
Right.
audience,
Yeah.
and now it is. It kind of is.
It
Comics
100% is.
are the
Yeah.
cool thing now.
And he graduated with an advanced degree in physics and engineering at the age of 17 from MIT.
Mhm.
And he's well respected within the business world, able to command people, extremely smart, and he gets people's attentions when he speaks on economic matters. That's why he was appointed Secretary of Defense by one of the presidents.
Yeah,
Mhm.
one of the I saw that.
Yeah. And there was a time where Stark was unable to use his armor, so he got combat training from Captain America.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also has regenerated.
And-
Oh, that's right.
In a few storylines, he has a membership in the Illuminati.
Whoa.
Right.
Yeah.
know that
So Iron Man was given the Space Infinity Gem to.
He's hanging out with Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Kanye.
That's what I'm saying.
Kanye.
He might have been excommunicated.
I don't know. I
yeah.
think Kanye got the short end of the stick with the Illuminati. They drew sticks to see which one would be the crazy rap artist.
Kanye.
And Kanye drew the wrong straw. He's like, God, I gotta like Trump now, and then
He's
It
actually
happened.
recanted that though.
I think I know what's going on, but
I don't want to get into politics. I don't care either way.
That shit don't matter here.
Yeah.
It really don't.
Yeah, really don't.
But
not
he's
here.
back on his music, so I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yay.
so that's what matters.
I neither
Yay.
support nor oppose Trump. We're not going to talk about any of that. So
Because that is all bullshit here.
Yeah. Moving on.
So-
Amen, brother. I hear that.
Amen.
Tom Cruise. These are just some fun facts. Tom Cruise
Yeah.
was once the top contender to play
Right.
Iron Man.
Thank God it didn't happen. Sorry.
Nick Cage.
Nick Cage was also,
Yep.
and
How great would that have been?
Nick Cage was supposed to be Batman too, or something.
and
No,
Superman. at
Superman.
one point.
Superman,
Yeah.
that's
Superman.
right.
Yeah.
And
There's-
Batman. He was a contender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is an entire documentary about it's called The Death of Superman Lives. Is by John Schnepp, who rest in peace. He's up there with Stan talking about comic books. He made a documentary called The Death of Superman Lives, where it talks about Nick Cage as Superman, and they had it ready to go, and then they got rid of it. And the Wild Wild West movie with Will Smith ended up taking a lot of the props and stuff and used that.
Oh,
But-
wow.
Fun fact about that.
Yeah, that shit. Cool.
Really interesting documentary. Check it out.
Yes, sir.
Jarvis stands for just a rather very intelligent system.
Yeah.
And in a lot of the comic books, Jarvis wasn't his AI like sidekick or whatever assistant. He was actually a human that took care of him
Yeah.
after his parents died.
So basically, Alfred.
Alfred.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities between.
Well,
the two.
Marvel and DC took a lot from each
And-
other in the early days.
What's really cool is like they did a comparison.
You
of
think you think Jarvis ever beat his meat with that suit?
when he came to
The
life?
AI?
Yeah, no, the Iron Man suit.
just
No, you know, Tony Stark's got a
Oh,
Tony Stark. Tony
Yeah.
Stark has a new suit like every week. Jarvis was looking at like Mark III and was just like,
this old model, so you can take this. It's
yeah.
like,
The noises.
Oh no.
I'll take
I
that.
smell you.
No.
No cap. No cap.
Back to Iron Man. Yeah, there are a lot of similarities between him and Batman, like Tuck said. But when they did this like virtual evaluation of the two companies, Bruce Banner's company actually makes $30 billion a year, whereas Stark Industries makes $20 billion.
Wow,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
but when Forbes did a fictional 15 list,
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man was higher.
Yeah.
Huh.
They you each get good.
Iron Man's
That's
number
it.
out of all fictional characters, he's number 3 behind Smog and the one of the Twilight.
No.
No,
Number
the
one
number
is
one-
Screw, like
From
Scrooge
DuckTales.
McDuck. Yeah,
Oh yeah, Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
That's what it
McDuck
was.
is
he's
number
number
one.
one. Iron Man's number 2.
No, Smog is richer
Scrooge
than.
Oh.
McDuck. is
Yeah,
number
Scrooge
one.
McDuck is number 1, which is okay. Is it not bullshit that when Scrooge McDuck dives into his like that big bathtub
Yeah, he should
full,
have just hit it like
he would have died.
yeah.
No,
A
he just
duck?
went Just like
One duck
So just
versus 100 billion gold boys. Who you think's gonna win?
No, Brett's argument's
billion
like you're
gold
not
boys.
supposed to swim through that shit. You hit that
It's
shit
just
like it's the
metal.
ground.
Also,
Yeah.
it's really heavy.
I was like, huh,
you get
thi-
underneath it, and you're like swimming
No,
through it. All
listen.
of a sudden, your bones start to break. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh.
No, you're watching the show. I'm watching the show about a bunch of ducks talking to each other, and he dives into the thing. I'm like, huh, this isn't realistic enough for me.
Yep.
I gotta move on.
But when we watch Iron Man, that shit is alright.
yeah.
Well, see, that's actually close to being real, though. So.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
would cost $100 million to build an Iron Man. suit.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Elon Musk. That's like in his wallet.
I was like, 100 million actually. 100 million for a lot of people. That's kind of cheap. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah,
I'd
but
fork that
to
over.
replicate his lifestyle entirely, I think it's like $12 billion.
Yeah.
Got some
to be
people.
Elon
Some
Musk
people
got
can
it
do
then.
that.
Yeah,
Some people can do that.
The handful
Jeff
of people out
Bezos could do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
So another fun fact is
Watch your money.
Lockheed Martin is one of the only companies that is developing an exoskeleton that's kind of like an Iron Man suit. It's called Hulk. Their human universal load carrier.
Well, you see,
They missed
this.
out on
with a
something.
K.
Yeah.
That sounds like not supposed to.
But
be
it's
like
really
that.
impressive. It can hold up to 200 pounds at a top speed of 10 miles per hour for
Well, you
prolonged
see,
periods of time.
that's where
Well, I
Stan
can't
Lee's
use it.
writings actually influenced the world.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that's going to be like a
insane.
future super soldier.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, you gotta
They
be
took
under 200
influ-
pounds. I ain't
Imagine writing
Not
something
me.
and then it influences something like that. That's insane. That's crazy to me.
Thank you.
That's
And that's all just from comic books and cartoons
Excelsior.
and heroes.
Oh, this fact is so fucking weird.
Okay.
It's so good,
Go.
though. There's a universe in the comics where Tony is born a woman named Natasha
Ooh,
Stark, who goes
heard
by
about
the
that.
name Iron Woman.
Mm.
What's interesting
I've
or
read
weird,
this. I know
depending
about
on
this.
how you look at it, is that she ends up falling in love with and marrying Steve Rogers, aka Captain America.
yeah.
They can do that now.
I mean,
Yeah.
they can do that now. If Tony,
They wouldn't hate each other?
Very true. Yeah,
They-
I
they,
think
They
they're
hate
good
each
now. I think they're good now.
No, I think my prediction is.
they kind of have.
Well,
to
I
be
mean,
good.
Captain America is gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
I mean, he talked about how he's
Somebody's
leaving it.
listening to this in like 2020 and they're like, well, they were wrong about that.
Yeah.
Or what they called it.
He's leaving the series regardless.
Yeah.
So,
He's probably just gonna go back into cryo. Like, I can't deal with this no more.
Yeah, true.
See you in another 60 years.
I cannot fix this. Sorry.
Sorry, Captain America is out.
yep. And in our world, Area 51 is a government property that
He bought it.
Yeah, in their world, he bought it. Yeah, he owns it, and that's where he hides his Infinity Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Just hides it
And
there.
yeah,
I'll never find it here.
and then, and then my last fact, which is which makes him a human like us, is that he's an alcoholic, and
Right.
the fact that a superhero was forced to battle with something like this just like humanizes him, and it was kind of reflected in the scene that
And Robert Downey Jr. is also.
I was gonna
an
say
alcoholic.
like
Covering
that,
alcohol.
it's literally like it literally is him minus like the
Right.
whole power stuff. Like because
He grew up in a rich family too. His father was in the entertainment business, and he
Yeah.
was an actor since he was a kid.
and he had drug issues like just like
You were
Tony
about to say
Stark is-
something. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just saying how it was just so interesting.
Yeah,
and
he
then
was-
it was depicted pretty well. Yeah.
Okay.
In like when I was talking about when he was super drunk in the second
Mhm.
Iron Man movie, and yeah, just
Yeah.
how everyone was already irritated with it. But yeah, like
Yeah.
at the beginning through the first two movies, I think it pretty depicts his alcoholism pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Always pouring a drink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
And then
Yeah.
the third one they cool down with that a lot.
Well, yeah, that was once he had started kind of dealing with it. But 2, he also in Iron Man 2, I liked to humanize him even more was like the PTSD that he was dealing with from the Avengers movie, all the battles in the Avengers
Right.
movies, was super interesting. I don't really like Iron Man 2, but
Oh, me neither.
I thought that was the third one where he deals with his PTSD.
no, it was. I think it
because
was.
he was talking about the kid, and the kid's like, "What happened in New
Yeah,
York?"
I think that was.
Yeah, that was the third one when he's in Tennessee.
No, because it's the. Well, I think. Well, he talks about it in both, but in 2, there's a kid that comes up to him like in a bar or something,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
and he's just, like, I don't think he's drinking. I can't remember. I have to rewatch.
yeah, he
those.
has to get inside his suit, and it like talks about his anxiety levels. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, 2 and 3 were not good. one
You
one
didn't
is
like
good.
them?
One was amazing.
One was awesome.
One's the best. That's still my favorite Marvel movie. Well, other than Infinity War is great.
The second one, and man, Scarlett Johansson was
Well,
looking
Scarlett
real
Johansson wins the movie for me,
right.
but
Man, she was looking real right with that.
2
long
and
Said it
3.
was
red
okay
hair.
to look when we're talking about Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
She has a crush on her.
your mom or
My
your
wife
wife?
Has a
Oh.
crush
Both.
on Scarlett
Who
Johansson.
doesn't,
Both.
bro?
Yeah, you're right. So
Yeah, Rebecca's probably gonna be real mad that I even looked at another
Mentioned
woman. Yeah,
Rebecca somewhere going.
I know. Rebecca smells. She senses it now. She's like, Brett's talking about
a
another
woman.
woman.
About a woman.
She's not me.
Who talking
we love
about
you,
a woman?
Rebecca.
She's scratching herself somewhere out there.
But anyway, so yeah, I guess that's it for Iron Man.
Well, actually,
We got
there's
any
one
closing
thing
thoughts?
I was just looking a little bit over his notes, and I looked at something. He actually has a suit. It's a Model 53 that can turn him into a flying car.
Mhm.
Yeah, like a transformer.
Literally like a transformer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why?
Why
Where's that?
haven't we
Where-
Come on.
we need.
We need
Come
to
on,
see
Marvel.
It's just no. It's actually
Like, you
just a
haven't given
Transformers
us-
movie. It's Michael Bay, but it's like a little guest starring Tony Stark.
Oh yeah, and
He's
it's
actually
just
such a
slow
piece of
motion.
Transformer.
His skin stretching out. It's all in slow motion, and there's like some naked woman for
There's
some
an
reason.
explosion in the
That's
background.
that's Michael Bay. Michael Bay is just objectifying women, and everything is in slow motion
with explosions.
with
a
explosions.
lot of
A lot of explosions. Well, okay. So, any closing thoughts? Anything you guys want to say about Iron Man or Stan Lee?
I wanted to see if like maybe we could ask each other like, what's your favorite Stan Lee cameo?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, my favorite one is in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where you find out that he's one of the Watchers.
Yes. I was gonna say
Because
that
that
one was really
explains
good.
why. Because the Watchers, if you read the comics, the Watchers, they examine. They're like, look at Earth. They examine Earth, and every now and then they'll fiddle with it or whatever, because they're like gods. in
Right.
this.
do a little
And
fiddle.
he's talking to them about a previous cameo he made, and that explains why he's in all
All
the
of them.
Marvel movies, because he's one of the Watchers just
Yeah.
playing around
That's
on
been the
Earth.
theory too.
He
but
was
even before
talking
then.
to the Watchers. I don't know if he was actually a Watcher.
He was a Watcher. They confirmed
was
it. James Gunn confirmed it.
Oh, okay, with his astronaut suit on. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, no, James Gunn confirmed that
I
he
got you.
is one of the Watchers.
'Cause that was a theory even like before that scene. Like
Mhm.
people had thought he was, and it was like they didn't confirm it. Like,
They nailed
at
it.
Then, but then like you said, James
Yeah,
Gunn
James
was
Gunn
like,
did.
yeah, that's what he was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's my favorite one. But there's some funnier ones. Like I liked Civil War when he asked if he was Tony Stank.
Oh
As
yeah,
the
that
FedEx
shit was
guy?
good. Yeah,
As
it
the
was
The,
FedEx
good.
guy?
the Deadpool one was really good too. The strip club.
That's my second
Yes.
favorite
That one
one.
was really
He was
good.
a strip
I
club
think
DJ.
my
Give it up for
favorite one-
Veronica.
All right, guys.
My favorite one was, even though the movies weren't that good, in The Amazing Spider-Man, he had his headphones on doing all that work.
Yes, in the
Yeah,
library.
That
Yeah,
was
in the
good.
library.
He
I was
didn't.
crying.
They were fighting behind him, and he's just listening to music and going through
Yeah,
the
he's just reading
books.
his book. Yeah.
So cool.
My favorite one, aside from that one, that was That was probably what was going to be my
That
favorite
was a
one.
really good one.
My other favorite one would be when he was a mailman in Fantastic Four, and he goes up to Reed Richards and goes, Mr. Richards, good to have you back.
Yeah.
And he goes, here's your letter or
Yeah.
package or whatever.
I
Dude,
remember-
don't even remember that one. It's been
I
so
was-
long.
Fantastic Four.
Well, when did Spider-Man when he was in Spider-Man 2, the Raimi Spider-Man, when they were looking, what was it, 3, when he was in
3.
Times Square?
3, because the second one he just yanked someone out of the way of a falling.
When did that come out? 2004?
Probably
3.
3?
I think the first one
Three?
came out like 01 or 02.
The
Mhm.
first one came out in 01, second one 04, and then third one was 7 or 8.
Seven,
Coming in
I
with
think.
those
7.
those years.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was when I first really was getting into comics. I was in like the 7th grade or so. And I remember my neighbor, I think I was talking to my dad's friend about, because he reads comics too. Okay, I thought you had something to say, like a pedophile joke. Anyway,
I was just
I was
enjoying
talking-
this man's story.
I was talking to my neighbor about the movie or whatever, and he was like, you know the guy that he was talking to in Times Square? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, that's the guy who created Spider-Man. And then after that, I knew who Stan Lee was.
Yeah.
That was when Stan Lee, that was the first time I had ever like realized like people, these aren't just things that appear. Like people thought of this in their head and they wrote it down, and Stan Lee was the guy who wrote it.
Man,
No.
that's so cool.
I know.
Yes.
That was what really got me into all that
He's
stuff.
gonna be missed.
Yeah,
I mean,
He
I already
really
do.
is.
for sure.
It's crazy. But I do want to say one thing too. I've seen stuff online. They want Deadpool to take his place.
That, yeah.
with the cameos.
I've been saying
would be
that.
cool.
It should be.
Deadpool can be dressed as Stan Lee with
Oh.
the suit on still.
with the mustache, over
A
the
wig,
suit.
yeah.
Mustache
That's
and everything
perfect.
over
That's
the
literally
suit.
perfect.
Yeah, and he could have some bad accent like he's trying to do it, and it would be
I thought
Perfect.
he'd be taller.
And also too, like of all the characters, because of the universe, like Deadpool is the only ones that's like can break the fourth wall. So he'll be the only person.
it would be so funny if like in Avengers 4, sorry.
No,
Go
he
ahead.
would be the only one that would know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that Stan Lee actually died.
Right.
Because no one else, because you can't break the fourth wall. Anyone else would
Yeah.
make. Deadpool is just Deadpool. You can do it with Deadpool.
I think it would be funny though if it was
yeah.
like a big battle scene in the city, and you just see Deadpool's legs crossed and he's reading a newspaper, and he drops the
And it's-
newspaper and it's Stan Lee's makeup or whatever, and he's like, he has like a little quip or something he needs to say, and then it cuts back to whatever's
He
going
says
on.
something real quick, and he's like, "Love you, Stan."
But
Yeah.
Whisper.
Stanley's gonna be in the fourth.
Yeah, I know.
No, that's
Too.
I know, but I just mean like a big team up, or like there's a big battle scene in all of them. So like something like that's going on. Like the first one that Stan Lee doesn't actually show up.
Or if they could do CGI and do like Deadpool. Right
Honestly,
next to Stan Lee.
Honestly, they could recreate Stan Lee at this point. I don't know if
They
there's
really-
They
anything in
already
his.
can.
have
Yeah.
They
with
can.
Carrie Fisher.
I don't
and-
think they should.
Well,
though.
they
can, but-
no, they never recreated her
Well,
Yeah.
they made her look way
in
younger.
Rogue
It was
in
just-
Rogue One. Well, yeah, but she was still alive when
And
they
then
did
Grand
that.
Moff Tarkin, not Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah,
Oh,
It was
I
a
know
Grand
it
Moff
was
Tarkin?
Tarkin.
He was that guy has been
Yeah,
dead
but it
for
was
a
in
long
it was
time.
in
yeah.
Carrie Fisher's will not to do that. Like you can't do that. She was alive when they did it in Rogue One.
Right. Okay, I got you.
She now that she's passed, she put in her will she doesn't want that to happen. And same Robin Williams did the same thing.
Good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
I
So
just don't think they should even try with Stanley. Like you can't. Like in a. I don't
Yeah.
Nothing can capture that.
know.
they could do a hologram of him sending a message or something. I don't know. Maybe it'd be something sweet to the fans that they
They
could
may
make-
actually
him
have
say.
something.
Yeah, they're gonna have
'cause
something cool at the end of Avengers 4 for sure.
It may be something
Yeah.
that he said. Maybe like on his deathbed. Maybe he recorded a message.
Yeah,
or
because
something.
there's videos of him talking about how much he loves his fans and stuff.
It makes me sad thinking about it. I
I'm
don't
getting goosebumps. I love him so much.
Mhm.
Anyway, well, I guess that's the show. We love you, Stan Lee. We love you, Iron Man.
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
Excelsior.
Excelsior. I do want to mention one thing though. Look at him. Just for those that are watching, look how clean cut he is.
No cap.
I mean,
My man got lined. Fuck up.
hit my boy Lamont up at Cutting Kings in Fayetteville. He's gonna hook you up.
Love you.
All right. Anyways, Excelsior.
Excelsior.
Goodbye.
We love you.